The Bucks win Game 3. They prevent the sweep. They squeak out a victory against the Nets, 86-83. Milwaukee came out hot. They took a 30-11 lead in the first quarter. I think the biggest lead was a 21-point lead. And then they surrendered it in the second half. In the second quarter, the Nets win the second quarter 31-15. The Bucks were barely holding on to a 45-42 lead going into half. It just looked like, man, after the hot start that the Bucks had, the fans were going crazy. The atmosphere was great in the arena. It just felt like, damn, like, are they just going to trade blowouts? Are the Bucks going to blow them out at home? Like, you kind of got this feeling like, whoa, like these Bucks, like, they came ready. But then the Nets made it a game. And honestly, the first thought that I had in my mind was like, damn, these Bucks just blew it. Like, they had a 21-point lead. They're down 2-0 against the Nets at home. They must be thinking, like, what do we have to do to win a game? Like, we were up 21 in the first quarter, and we're going into halftime just up 3. But it was a very sloppy game throughout the whole game was just sloppy. There was a lot of turnovers. Both teams weren't shooting well. To finish the game 86-83 in today's NBA, that's really catered to scoring points. The way the refs call fouls, the way, like, the pace of today's NBA is just crazy for a game to end 86-83. That's the lowest scoring. That's the lowest score by a winning team in this year's playoffs, 86 points. But it doesn't matter for the Bucks. They're just content of getting on the board. The series is now 1-2, and they have another game in Milwaukee. Can they win Game 4 and tie the series 2-2? I believe they can. Will they? That's a whole different thing. The Bucks have been shooting miserably from the 3-point line. If any of their role players could start making shots, they will have a shot in Game 4. I don't think they're going to be able to hold the Nets to 83 again. KD struggled through 3 quarters, and then he kind of took over at the end of the third and the fourth. Kyrie struggled throughout. And Giannis just keeps being frustrating, keeps being annoying, in my opinion. 33 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, but just abysmal from the free throw line again. It's just, they called the 10-second violation on him. That's just, it's irritating as a neutral. It's irritating as a Antetokounmpo fan. It must be excruciating if you're a Milwaukee Bucks fan. Obviously, he's your best player, but if you're down 0-2 in the series, I would be screaming at the TV if this guy just keeps missing free throw after free throw after free throw, and you're down 0-2. But thankfully for them, they got the victory. Chris Middleton had his best game of the playoffs, 35 points. He scored the 8 of the last 10 points for the Bucks to squeak out the victory. But other than that, like, Middleton and Antetokounmpo were basically the whole offense, 35 and 33. The next highest score was 9, Drew Holiday. And then after that, it was 4 by Bobby Portis. So Middleton and Antetokounmpo basically did all the scoring. It's just eerily weird game. Like, it wasn't that good, to be honest. But the Bucks did squeak out a victory. It was just crazy that Bruce Brown got the shot at the end of the game. That caused a lot of controversy. When you have KD, when you have Kyrie Irving, you're down 3, and Bruce Brown is the one taking the shot, or down 2, and Bruce Brown is the one taking the shot. Or I think they were down 1, actually, because they made the free throws. But anyways, Bruce Brown, like, he decided there was 8 seconds left, and he decided to drive to the rim, and he got rejected by Brook Lopez. So that was one of the controversies of this game. Like, why is Bruce Brown taking the last shot for the Nets, and then KD couldn't hit the 3 to tie it at the end. In the end, Milwaukee gets the victory, and they get on the board. But I don't think they should be, if they're optimistic, they should look at their shooting percentages. They should look how the Nets aren't one of the best defensive teams, and if they ever turn it on, if their shots start falling, then they could tie up the series going back to Brooklyn. But there's a lot more reasons to be pessimistic. Durant, he didn't shoot well. Kyrie Irving didn't shoot well. James Harden is still hurt. He's not even there. We'll see when he comes back. Giannis can't make a free throw to save his life. Giannis doesn't have a bag. He has no reliable move to go to. He has no mid-range jumper. He has no three-point shot. He's attempting way too many threes in the game. I believe he had 8 attempts last game. He can't post up. He doesn't have a post move that he could go to. His handles aren't the best. It looks like he always wants to go right when they clog the paint. It's just when your best player has that many limitations, it's rough for you to get out of the second round. It's rough for you to succeed in the playoffs. And Chris Middleton was the best player on the court yesterday. I don't know how many games Chris Middleton is going to be the best player from the games remaining. So Drew Holiday can't seem to score. He had a bonehead play to end the first quarter where there was like 10 seconds left, and he let it run down to like 4 seconds before he made a move, and then he lost the dribble. Drew Holiday has not been the player that the Bucks expected him to be in the playoffs. At least scoring wise, defense he's trying his best out there. There's a lot more negatives for Milwaukee Bucks, but like Giannis said, a win is a win, and they got to win. It doesn't matter if you win by 30 or if you win by 2 or 1. A win is a win, and they got to win. They keep themselves alive for the moment. We'll see if they show up in Game 4, because they didn't show up in Game 1. They didn't show up in Game 2. And in my opinion, they kind of showed up for Game 3, and they were able to squeak out the victory. But are we ever going to get a full, complete game where we're impressed by the Bucks, or are the Nets just that much better than them? I did have the Bucks winning in 7, so I'm hoping they go to 7 just so I look like a genius. But do I expect it to go 7? No. I think the Nets are clearly the best team. They'll get Harden back. They have way more talent on offense, and the Bucks are just struggling offensively for the most part. They can't stop. They figured out how to stop him for one game, but I don't think that's something that they'll be able to consistently do. And I'm just kind of starting to give up on Giannis. I mean, I like the guy. He was one of my favorite players. He's kind of getting annoying now. I don't know if he's up there anymore. But Giannis, man, like if you develop your game so much, if you were able to, go from I believe the 13th overall pick to a 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, like come on, man, just work on your free throws. Like stop shooting so many threes. Get a reliable mid-range jumper. That would make you not even a 3-point shot. Like just get a reliable mid-range jumper, and you'll be set. You'll be good, man. Like just get a move that you could go to, so you don't look like all you could do is just drive and spin and dunk and be long and stuff. That James Harden clip where he says that he has to actually play basketball. He has to actually have skills, not just like Antetokounmpo where he could just be athletic and long. Every playoffs that soundbite just sounds more and more correct. But what do you guys think? Are the Bucks done? I think they are. I don't think they'll be able to win Game 4. I'll be happily surprised if they do, because I wanted this to be a great series. So if they're able to make this a series and win Game 4, I'd be ecstatic. But I just don't. Even if they win Game 4 at the high, I don't think it'll go 7. I think 6. But realistically, this is going 5 games. The Nets will win Game 4 in Milwaukee, and then they'll wrap it up in Brooklyn. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Who do you guys have winning this series? And if it's the Nets, by how much? And if it's the Bucks, it's obviously going to be 7. They're not going to win 4 in a row. But let me know down below, or tweet at me.